not a bait and switch for my YouTube channel. If you tuned into this channel because you want to know why I think it's the worst campground ever, just watch this video because I explain it to you what my thoughts are in this video. But no, I do not think it's the worst campground ever. I had an experience here one time that made it the worst. But this experience this time has changed my whole view of that. So stay tuned, watch this video, and you'll find out my thoughts. So anyway, this is actually a long video because I did what I don't know if anyone else has done, and I walked this entire campground, the north and the south, and I documented every site for you. So there's site numbers, you can see every single site, I talk about them, and if you don't want to watch this whole video, you don't have to. If you already have a reservation or you are looking at a particular site, just fast forward to that site in my video and pause the video whenever you need if it's a site that you're interested in, and you can check it out that way. So you don't have to watch the whole video. But my thoughts and my experience is somewhere in this video, so you might want to watch the whole video so that you can hear my story. Anyway, this time I am in site 55. I am on the bluff side. I have a great view, totally nice site. And I'm gonna take you for a walk along this campground and show you these sites. Before I do that, one final recommendation I have is Google Maps is your friend with this campground. You can totally go onto Google Maps and find the site that you're looking at and then measure using the distance marker on Google Maps. It's your best friend at all campgrounds if you want to see if you're going to fit. But I kind of go over it. And then also in the comment section, or I'm sorry, in the description section of this video, I'm going to leave you a link to where you can get the measurements for every single site. So I'm giving you a freebie. So I'm going to provide a link where you'll be able to click on it and download a copy of every single site and their lengths and their width, so you have an idea. But watch this video. I'm happy you're here, and let me know what you think and when you're going to come here and book. And if you've already been here, give me your thoughts. Write it in the description. Write it in the comments. Share your experience here, and let me know if you had an awesome experience or a negative experience here.
Of course, I forgot my mic, so hopefully you will be able to hear my voice okay, but we're going to start off with the entrance. This is a good point here to start off because that gives you a good idea from the main highway. This is looking out the entrance, and so you're going to come in off of Carlsbad Boulevard there, and then there's 2 lanes, and there's the kiosk for arrival, and they'll take you on both sides of the kiosk at 2 o'clock. So don't come before 2, they'll turn you away. There is, out here to the left, there is parking. They actually line up there, all the RVs line up. But because this campground is kind of narrow to drive through, if your rig is somewhat big, I would wait till the majority of people get in after 2. You know, I arrived around 2:45, 3, and there was no one in front of me. And they just brought me right in, and there was no one to have to wait while I was parking, so that was nice. So my advice is to come after 2. If you come at or before 2, if you come before 2, definitely they won't let you in, and if you come at 2, you'll see there is a line down Carlsbad Boulevard for RVs waiting to come in. But this is the entrance here. This is park fees as of 2026. Hi. You can stop the video and take a screenshot of this information, and then you're going to come in here and you can go straight down here, or you're going to come around here, and this is the north section, and this down here is the south section, and we're going to start in the south section. There's like 4 spots here for car parking, or like if you have a short van or small camper to pull into to park for a moment. And this is looking out if you were exiting, and right now it is just around the time when people are leaving, just before noon. Checkouts at noon. So I'm hoping to get a lot of clear campsites right now. This right here is the camp store, and it was closed for a while. It's a little restaurant and bar. It's really actually cool. I do not know if it's open. It is not open right now while I am here, and this is May. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. You can sit out here. They have live music. I have been here when it's open, and there's a menu. You want to take a screenshot or scan that. It's a stage for live music. Oh, it is open. The camp store is open actually right now. There's all this seating out here. You can buy something and sit out here. It's really cool. Yeah, it is open. The kitchen is what's closed right now, so I don't know when that opens, maybe summertime. But there is a little camp store here with items and some food items. However, you are close enough to, walking distance to grocery stores. And then if you sit out here, here is your view. I mean, you're going to see a lot of this view today. I want to say the whole campground length is over 2 miles long. I think the south side is about a mile, and the north side is about a mile. There's a little amphitheater here for ranger events. So this is the south side, and I'm going to do my best to show you each site, but because there are so many sites here, I might lump a couple together, or I will just point out some interesting facts about sites that are noteworthy. So as you're coming in here, these are the few hookup sites that they have. These are full hookups, and they're big enough for a large RV. This is site 223, and you're right next to the exit, the camp store, and there's a full-time host right here, so I would just take note of that. 223 and 222 is a double site, so you can get 2 rigs in here, one forward and the other back in. And this is 221. It's also a double site. So what I'm going to do is, because these sites are all across from each other, I'll video each site on either side of the road. So right here, 132 is right next to the host, and there's a water spigot, and that's 133. And then 220 is also a double hookup site, and 219 is also a double hookup site. And then 134 is right across the street, and that's a host. 135 is a host right there next to the bathrooms, and it's across from, let's see, this is 218, which is a double site. Full hookup. The double sites are full hookup. This is a campground host across from 218, and also 217 is a double hookup. 216 is a double hookup, and also it's right across from the restrooms. And then 215 is a double hookup, and it's right across from water and garbage cans. So the double hookups, one would reverse in and one would pull in forward, or if you both reverse in, you're not going to be like buddy camping. Your doors won't be facing each other, but your hookups will be on the right side. But if one of you is reversed, just keep in mind your hookups are on the opposite side. So just keep that in mind. This site is huge. You could fit any size rig in here because of the width of it, and it's 214. And right across from 214 is 136. Very narrow and next to the bathrooms. 137. 213. So you're gonna see how a lot of these RVs are parked to get them in here. This is 212. It's a huge site. Right across from 212 is 138. It's very narrow and short. And 139, it's short but wide. This is kind of a nice site because you've got trees or bushes on either side. This is site 211. And then 140. This is site 210. Very wide site. And 209. And across from 209 is site 141. Secluded, but it is on the roadside. The highway is right back there. Carlsbad Boulevard. Right next to 141 and 142 is water. This is 142. 208 is a very big site. You could get any rig in here. So I want to show you something. This is how narrow the road is. So if you have people trying to park at the same time, you know, like I have a 40-foot fifth wheel. So when I'm parking, I'm going to take up this whole road here, space to back in. So that's the only thing with the big rigs here, are the road is narrow. You can fit them in the site, but you have to be careful because the road is narrow. This is 207. And across from 207 is 143. 206, a nice big site, but keep in mind it is right next to this viewpoint and this path to the viewpoint there, so you have people walking there and disrupting your campsite. Also, out your campsite view, you'll see people going up and down. That's also a path to the beach there. And this is 144. And 144 is next to a water spigot, but it's also next to this path, which goes out to Carlsbad Boulevard. So you're going to get people walking from the boulevard or those homes or stores up in there down into the campground through here. This is 145, same thing, right up against that path. And then this site here is 205. You've got the path there to get down to the beach. And then, I don't know, this is electric boxers or something here, but it's kind of an eyesore. 146 is very, very narrow, but long, so you could fit diagonally in there. It's kind of laid out weird because look where the fire pit is and the picnic table. So if you were parked like over here, yeah, it's just kind of a weird layout. 204, nice and big, wide, bushes, giving you some privacy, but you've got that to look at. 203, this is 147, which is right next to the dumpsters and the bathrooms. 202 is right across from the bathrooms and the dumpsters. 201 is also across from the bathroom and the dumpsters. And see, he's parked in there at an angle, so this is 200. It is not very deep and not very wide. And then 148 here is a handicapped, so it's narrow or not very deep, but it is paved, so you could park your rig over there and have access for handicapped, like a wheelchair or something that comes around to the fire pit, all this paved area, and then right easily access to the bathroom. This is 199, very, very narrow. And when I say narrow, I mean like the distance from the road to the fence. So it's very narrow. You'd have to have a little van, a tent, or you'd have to be parking at an angle. And plus you've got, this is 199, that's 198 where the trailer is. I mean, you're side by side. Great for, you know, buddies or camping with friends. And then right here is 149. Again, that's narrow as well, but there's water right there. It's long, but narrow. This is 150. It's not very big. 197. That is probably like a 20-foot RV. See, he's taking up like the whole road, so if there was another RV coming the other direction, you'd have to do some creative driving. This is 151 and 196. Kind of narrow, so you park at an angle, but there is water right here next to 152 and across from 195. Narrow site, maybe fit a 20-foot, and then 194 where this tent is. And what's nice about this area now is on this side there are no campers, so you've just got ocean view. 193, there's water at 193, that's kind of nice, and it's really secluded. If you want a secluded spot, 193. 192. This is 191. This is a big site. I could fit my 40-foot fifth wheel in here easily. Those bushes would be blocking your view kind of out the campsite of the ocean, but out the back, if you have windows in the back, nice view. And this is 190. These are totally deep sites. You can easily fit your large rig in this 190 and 189. And then look, if you were camped back in here, let's say you were pulled up here, move the picnic table, this would be your view. You'll see mine later when I get to it. I'm in the north side. And you hear the sound of this all night. So the fence here along the whole entire campground. So like if you're sitting in your chair like this right here, you kind of can't see the waves or the beach, and you're looking through the fence. So a lot of people will put their chairs up on the picnic table. This is site 188, and it's starting to get a little bit more narrow in here. There's water right here, but you could definitely park a large rig at an angle at 188. 187 is totally wide. Look how wide this is. And then this is 186. Very deep site. But you would have to watch for this as you're, if you're pulling in this way and then you're going to back in, this would be a concern because this hedge is here, so this road is kind of narrow. With my fifth wheel, I could easily do it because of the turning radius, but you also have this tree to look out for. So again, I'm pointing out things at campsites that I think are notable or noteworthy if you were to choose it, and try parking. 185 has water. This would be hard to get into with a big rig for sure because of these posts here, the tree there, and then this narrow, road with the hedge right here. Not a lot of room to maneuver. And then 184 is a handicap site. It's kind of nice because the bathrooms are right here and it's all paved. It's close to the dumpsters, of course. And then this is 183, a totally huge site if you want to parallel park your rig, and easy to get into because you just pull in there and then just back in, but not a very good view out the front here, but close to the bathroom if you need that. Coming up to 182, where this little escape is. So now the sites are more narrow in terms of the depth of the site from the road to the fence. And 153 is a handicapped. It's very, very short, like a van would fit easily in there, but that's about it. And 154 is a campground host. So if you're in 181, you're across from the campground host. Very narrow, very short, but wide. 180 is also narrow and wide, and you are across from these campground hosts. I do not like that, so I do not like 180, 181, 182. I don't like those sites. And then you're coming here. So this is a turnaround point. For me, this is like super tight for my 40-foot fifth wheel to make this turn. I would not want to do this. I would rather back into an open site and turn around. I could do it, but it's pretty tight turn here. We're going to continue on. This is a cool site. It is site 179. It's pretty secluded. But the road is narrow here. Backing in because of this tree would be problematic. But if you have a van or a small trailer, 178, 179 will work. There's in 177 probably a 18-foot trailer, 19-foot trailer. And then coming up on 176. So that gives you an idea of the length of the site, that van here. 175 is where the van is. 174 is where that motorhome is. Gives you an idea of the depth of that. 173 has two vans in it. It's not very deep. And 172 is the same, not very deep. This gives you an idea of the depth of this one. There is just a small Bronco in there with a couple tents. This is 171. And then 170, the motorhome. And 169. Now we're starting to go downhill a little bit, so you will be sloped this way. So you need to level up on this side. You'll need to level up in these sides. 168. Again, there's nothing across from you. And 167 right next to the bathrooms. Kind of a difficult site to get into if you're going to back in. 167 has electric hookup. That's interesting. So keep that in mind. There's water right here and electric back there. You're next to the dumpsters and the restrooms. There's nothing across from you in these campsites. This is 166, and we're walking downhill. You're sloped this way, so you need to level up. Still walking downhill, 165. Right next to 165, there is water right here, as well as a path to a viewpoint. So if you're in 164, you're gonna have people using this path right here to the viewpoint. So 164 is not very private, but it's nice and deep, and we leveled off. We're starting to go back uphill. So 163, you can see how the picnic table is blocked. So you're gonna need to level up on this side. Sorry, I'm holding my coffee cup, but on this side you'll need to level up if you come into this site. And this is site 163. Kind of nice and secluded with these trees here. .162, we're walking uphill. And 161 is not that deep. Right here. Need to level up. This is 160. Not very deep. You'll also need to level this one. And you are across from the highway, but no one's across from you. And then 169, kind of an interesting site. You have water right here. It's kind of convenient if you have a van like this. And this is 168. Still walking a bit uphill, so I need to level on that one. Now we're at the top, and this is 157. 157 is kind of a really cool site, but not very deep. So if you have a smaller trailer, this would work. Nice and secluded. And we're at the end here. This guy's running his generator. This is a host. So we're at the end. So if you're coming down here to the end, you're gonna need to turn around here. And this is totally fine for a small vehicle, but I could not turn my 40-foot fifth wheel around here. I would have to use the turn previous to this. This is just too tight. So don't come all the way to the southern end of the campground with your 40-foot fifth wheel. This would be like a multi-point turn for you, or not possible. Just keep that in mind. You might end up having to back out. So big rigs don't come all the way to the southern end. If you need to turn around, do it at the midway point on the southern end, the turnaround that I showed you before. Very southern end of the campground, back towards the northern sites, and I will turn the camera off and start recording when I get there. One other note, just a reminder, I'm coming up to the turnaround that's like the midway point on the southern loop. So if you have a big rig, don't come past this point if you need to just turn around. If you're gonna back in your site and camp, it's fine because you can pull out and go forward. But if you just need to turn around, use this turnaround. Don't go all the way to the end, because I don't think you'll make that turn. Even this one is tight, but if you swing wide enough on a big rig, you can make this one. You won't make the other one. Just words of advice. Be forewarned. So I told you I would tell you, I'm just not going to explain the whole thing because it would be a video in itself, but I had a really bad experience the second time I came here parking, and it had to do with, there was a couple factors involved, but basically the camp hosts that were here at the time were just all over me for getting out to look at my site and walk the site, saying I was blocking traffic, and it was only my second time in this campground, and I had a much bigger rig, and I definitely didn't want to back off the bluff, and I was doing what every RVer should do, and that's get out and look at your site. And it just ended up being this huge, almost yelling match from them at me, and just really awful customer service and bad experience, to the point where both my buddy and I, who had his RV, both of us swore we would never be back. And so I don't want to get into too much detail, but my experience this time has been much different. I don't know if they got rid of those hosts. I hope they were fired. I could have easily written a very appropriate letter on their behavior. So that is the reason I have stayed away from this campground for all these years. But my experience this time has been nothing but remarkably pleasant and beautiful and fun, and so I have given it a second chance, and it has been awesome. It's just about noon, and so these campsites are opening up because people are leaving right now, so it's a perfect time for me to film this. However, I did just get done with a 20-mile, I cycle, so I did a 20-mile bike ride. By the way, the roads here are amazing for bicycling. They are marked very wide bike lanes, and they go through all these really cute, cool, quaint cities like Oceanside and Ensenadas and South Carlsbad. So bring your bikes if you come here. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back to my trailer, because I'm hungry, and now I've added, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 more miles onto my day. And yesterday I did 35-mile bike ride, and so I'm getting tired, and I'm walking in flip-flops. But I look forward to getting back to my rig and having a cider. Do you guys, what is your favorite drink when you go camping? So one of mine is I like, Trader Joe's or other grocery stores has these ciders, and I like the apple cider. It's an alcoholic beverage, but it's kind of sweet and bitter, and it's so tasty. I think it's Apple Orchard is the cider that I like. But let me know what you guys drink. What's your favorite go-to drink when you're camping? And leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll try it. By the way, it is just the end of April here, and it's like been in the low 70s, mid 70s. This is welcome to Southern California. This is why these sites are hard to get, and this campground is always full. I mean, I'm out here in flip-flops, board shorts, and no shirt, getting some sun, and it's only the end of April. So that's one good thing about Southern California. Maybe one of the only good things, but our weather here is amazing. Back at the northern end of the section, actually, we're at the entrance of the campground. If you're gonna go to the northern section, you're gonna come in from here, and you're gonna come around here, and you're gonna make this turn and go north. I'm in the northern section. I prefer it. I think the sites are a little bit nicer, in my opinion. I mean, they're all kind of the same, but definitely if you have a big rig, I think the northern section you're gonna find more convenient spots. Right here at the entrance, we've got a little book exchange, access down to the beach. Let me show you that real quick. There's the camp store. And so if you don't do stairs, you won't want to do these. Look at all these stairs. But look at this beach. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And then there's lifeguard stands down there. So this morning there were surfers out here. I rode all the way north to Oceanside today. Again, that was about 20 miles. And there was a bunch of surfers, everyone running, biking, volleyball, just a lot of beach activities going on today. Anyway, you're coming in the campground. There's the entrance kiosk, and here's the guy coming out from the northern section. Thing of note, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parking spots right here. This is for the camp store only, so if you need to just come down from the end of the campground like this guy's doing right here and pull in and do something at the kiosk or whatnot, there's 4 car sites or 5. So we're coming up to the first campsite, and this campsite, I kind of like it actually, even though it's, you know, you're gonna have people driving by it, but it's number 1. It's totally, you know, long, so you can park parallel, but you're right close to, look at your view here. So this is 1. Of course, across the street, not very nice, there's a dumpster and the main entrance, so, but there is water right here. So across from number 1 and 2, there is water. This is number 2. And number 3 are right next to each other. Totally could fit my 40-foot fifth wheel in these sites. This is number 129. And 128 is right next to a host. And then number 4 right here. You can't see this because of all these cars. There's some tents back in there. But number 4 and number 5 right here are right across from a camp host, and there's dumpsters and then the bathrooms right there. This is number 6, a totally long site. 6 goes all the way to that path up there, so not very private but nice and long. Totally could park parallel here. It's almost like a pull through, but you're right across from the bathroom, the dumpsters, and there is a path here to the point, or this lookout. So not very secluded here at all. There goes a big rig, big fifth wheel. And so this is 125. It's handicap site, and it's right next to the bathrooms, and it's paved. And then site number 8 here, and site number 9, and site number 7. I really didn't get a chance to go over that one, but it's basically a short site. Some tents were in there, a bunch of people, so I couldn't film it. 8 and 9. Totally nice. So I think most of these sites, I'll point out when I don't think a big rig would fit. 125. The bluff side, the big rigs will fit. The road side, like over here, you'll have to really check the measurements more carefully, and you'll have a harder time. 124, and there's water right here. And then 123 is where the van is. This is site number 10. And this is site number 11. So my big rig would fit at an angle like this. And then site 123. 122. What's noteworthy about this? It's nice and secluded. This is 122, nice and deep. 121. I'm sorry, this is not 122. This is number 12. So because I'm filming both sides of the road at once, basically the numbers go down this way and then they come back this way in higher numbers. So sorry for the confusion. This is site number 12. They're very clearly marked with the signs. 13. Number 120. This is a nice wide site. 14 has this bush for some privacy. And then 119 is handicapped and paved and next to the bathrooms. And then 15 here is where the camper is. So 15 is across from the bathrooms, and there's dumpsters. And 16 is a handicapped right across to the bathrooms and dumpsters. And then 17 here. And there's water right here, right across from 17 next to the dumpsters. And then 118 and 18. $117, $19, $116, nice and wide. I mean the length here. Number 20 and number 21 are right next to each other, and they have these paver blocks, or these these wheel stops in between, separating them. But they are across from water, which 116 is right here, and there is water. This is 115. There's water. And then 22. So there's water by 21, 20, 22, 114, 115. This is 114. 23. This is 22. Sorry, this is 113. So I'm going to try to edit this, but if I don't, just look at stop the video and look at the signage, because I keep getting the numbers mixed up. So 23 is right next to this viewpoint. There's a path here, but it's closed. So you don't have to worry about people going there. This is 24. And across from 24, there's water, and that's 112. So right next to 112 and 111, there's water. 25. This is 110. 26. This is 109, right next to the bathrooms. And 27. So 27, 28, 109 are right next to the bathrooms and the dumpsters. This is 28. This is 29 right here. And then 108 is a handicapped. So it's paved, and there's water at 108. So there's water across from site 29, 30, 108. This is site 30. This is site 107, and it's right next to the water as well. But this gives you an idea of, I mean, this is a triple axle, and he's fit parallel fine. So he must be at least 40 feet. This is, and he's in site 30. This is 31. $106. 105. So this would be like just a little tiny van, a little tiny trailer. Do not plan on bringing a big trailer into 105. The depth to the bush there from the road is like maybe, I don't know, 15 feet. Yeah, very small. Perfect for a tent or a van. 32. I kind of like 33. The bushes there. This bush here. 104. Kind of an odd site. His, maybe a 22-foot camper right there. And it's right next to water. And 103 is also kind of odd. You would have to pull parallel in this one or have very short, like a camper van in 103. And 103 is right next to the dump station, as well as this is 34. And this is a nice, big, long, wide, you can fit any size rig in here, but it's right next to the dump station as well. So I want to point out the dump station. I can't dump in this dump station. The turn is too tight. So if you have a large fifth wheel or a long motorhome, I don't think you'll be able to dump in here. I mean, the problem isn't right here, it's coming around the corner. But so if I'm dumping here, it's pay. It's a $10 fee. And I'm coming around here. I mean, maybe I can make this turn if I pull wide into the dirt here. Yeah, you could make this turn, but you can't turn and go back here. You have to turn and go down the other dump station. And if there's someone there or a line there, now you're holding everyone up. I think this would be kind of stressful. So if you come here and you have a really large rig, I wouldn't plan on dumping here. Even for me, like coming from here down into this dump station here, yeah, you could do it. But look, see, people have hit this. So it's just really tight. So be forewarned with the dump station here. It's just a tight turn. And it's really small and short. So if there's a line, you're holding up people. If there's someone here and I want to dump, I'm blocking the entire road here. So be warned of that. And then also I wanted to show you this sign. So theft is an issue here. I've been putting even my solar panels in at night. Don't leave anything out, they say. Even my grill, the Blackstone, I have cable locked to the table. I mean, if someone really wants it, they could cut the cable on that. But I'm good letting that go. But the solar panels, no. So bikes, no. Everything put away at night. Okay, this is 35. Next to the dump station. And this is a funky site. 102, it's totally exposed. Next to the dump, you have the smell of the sewer. Gross. There is water here at 102, but I'm not a fan of 35, which is here, or 102. This is 101. And across from 101, there's access down to the beach. Right next to 36, there's access to the beach. Hello. So this must be 100. Very long, yeah. Like, very long but narrow. And then 37. Site 99. 38. Not very big. 38 is not very big. But there is water next to 99 and across from 38 and next to 98. This is a host. 39 and 40. 39, 40, 41, right across from the bathrooms, dumpsters, and water. And 97. 97 is handicapped over here. And then this is 41. This is 42. This is 43. It's a really nice wide site. This is number 95. I'm sorry, this is 96. This is 95. This is 44. Yeah, I definitely like this end, the northern end of the campground better. There's water right next to 95 and across from 44. It's 45. 45 is nice and secluded if you want trees on both sides. Very secluded. 94. 46 is also secluded. Trees on each side. And then 93 is nice and secluded. This is 92. 47. I'm trying not to make you dizzy with my turning this camera. This is 48. But I want you to see all these sites. This is 91. I wish when I had booked, I had been able to see the sites like I'm videoing now. It's, you know, a pain to video all of this, but it would have been helpful for me to have something like this to see. This is site 90, and there's water right next to site 90. Water across from, this is 49, really secluded with trees on either side. And this is 89. And this is 50, trees on either side. 50 is a nice site. I'm gonna just step in here so you can listen to this. So if you're on the bluff side, this is what you hear all night. And you do get some traffic noise, so if you're on the highway side, you're going to get more traffic noise. But I can even hear it on the bluff side. This is 88. It's not bad though, the sound of the... This is 51. The sound of the ocean drowns it out. And then 87 is a handicapped. 52. So 52 is kind of exposed, even though you could fit along the parallel here, and it's next to water, the bathrooms. But we're kind of going down a hill now, so just keep that in mind. Your level at 52, but 53 is kind of sloping down a little bit this way, and it's right across from the bathrooms, if you like that. Dumpsters, there is a squirrel in the dumpster. And 54 right here, there's a path to a little viewpoint, so 54 is kind of open. And this is 86. So this is totally sloping down, and this would be good for just like a little van or a trailer, but you're gonna have to level up this way. And I'm right there, that's me. So to give you an idea, I'm 40 feet in length. This is site 55. I'm in site 55. And look, I could even just have backed straight. I'm at a little angle, but that's a 40-foot rig, and it will fit in most of these sites. And then I have room for my truck right here. This is 85? 56. 56 is right across from water. 85 is right next to the water. So it's 84 next to the water. Here's 84. So look how he's level. You got to level up on this, because it's sloping down this way. So level up the front. 57. 57 is kind of a little bit like this. Now we're going up a slight incline. This is 83. So you're still gonna have to level the front or this side, like 58. You probably level up like this. This is 58. It's a huge site. 82, or I'm sorry, yeah, 82. 59, so we're walking uphill, so you would have to level this way. 81, there's water in between 81 and 82. 81, you're gonna have to level up this way. We're still walking uphill. This is 60. You can see his jacks are down, he's leveled up this way because we're still walking up a hill. This is number 80. Still have to level on this side. This is 61. We're 61. We're coming to the top of the hill. It's huge. It's from here all the way over to this bush over here. And there's water right across from 61 and no one across from you. 61's kind of a cool site. You're at the top and you have an amazing view. It's a little exposed, but it's not bad. 62. So now we're walking down the hill a little bit. There's no one across from you. So you need to level on the back side, on this side. We're still walking down a little hill. This is 63. 63 is actually level. Fairly level. He's got a couple blocks under here. That's a long trailer. And he is going into... Well, this is 64. But see, he's taking up the whole road to get in here. 64 is nice and secluded. A little slope downhill. That is site 79 that he's going into. This is site 78. Right next to the bathrooms. There's water at 78. And then this is 65. And then 66 right here is right across from the restrooms, water, dumpsters. This is 67. It's pretty exposed because it's next to the dumpsters, bathroom. There's a pathway to a viewpoint right here. And then 77 is this handicapped, and we're completely sloped this way, so you need to level up in the front. We're walking kind of downhill right now. This is 68 where these kids are. Next to this viewpoint. And then this is 76. See how he's raised in the front and also on this side. This is not a level site at all. 76 will be a lot of leveling. Next to water. This is 75. And this is 69 across the way. $70. So now we're down in the... This is also, look at how he's had to level. So these sites are not level. Hey, this is 74. And 73 is the end. It's kind of a weird, funky site. It's not level, but you're at the very end. And then there's 71. And this is site 72. So what's nice coming the north end with a big rig is there's a wide turnaround. So you have some overflow parking here. Overflow parking here. Now, I don't know how long you could park here. I think it's for, you know, extra vehicles, but you can come around here. This is what I did. So this Pelican Point has, this is called Pelican Point, like has special events. It's a little area. It looks like it has a stage and some picnic tables. I've never seen any function going on here, but I don't know if it's reservable or the state does programs here. It's kind of cool. But anyway, it's called Pelican Point. So if you drive your big rig down to Pelican Point, the farthest north you can go on the campground, you have this nice big turnaround. Now, right now, there's no cars in here, but even if there were cars in here, you would still be able to make this turn. And then you go back and back in like I did.
I was going to sit outside, but it's a little bit windy out, and I wanted you to be able to hear me well. So I am sitting in here, and I have my cider. I guess this is Angry Orchard, this one. Anyway, that was a long walk. That was a totally long review. I hope it was helpful for you. I want to give you just a few final closing thoughts. I don't know, can I drink cider on YouTube? I don't know, we'll just say it's apple cider. Anyway, a few closing thoughts on this campground. Like I said, I had a bad experience one time when I came here. I swore I would never come back. This time, totally opposite experience. I have loved every moment of being here. So the positives, I'm gonna give you some positives and some negatives. The positives, we'll start with those, are, I mean, you can't beat the view. You're right on, if you get a bluff side campsite, it's amazing. I've already had you listen to the sound. You get that sound all night. It's just really, really incredible. The sunsets here are amazing, and having a campfire at night while the sun is setting, you know, the kids can go right down to the beach from the campsite. You can even watch them from the campsite and, you know, keep track of them. So those are a couple positives. It's a huge campground, and so there's like a lot of sites to try to book. And then it's right, literally, I mean, a half a mile or even less to major shopping, like grocery stores and restaurants. And then if you take a short drive, like several miles, you're gonna get into all these really cool, quaint little Southern California cities. And believe me, they are really fun. It's kind of, it's the Southern California coastal vibe in these little quaint towns and cities. And another positive, if you bike or have electric bikes or want to cycle, you can go for literally hundreds of miles. You can ride all the way down to San Diego. And by the way, San Diego is not that far. Just less than like 40 minutes to get to if you want to do something in San Diego while you're camping here. The Surfliner train is close by. You could actually take the Surfliner down to San Diego or up to Oceanside or even further. You can take your bikes on that. So this, and also in April when you're here in this area, the tulip fields are blooming. You can go see that. There's a ton of stuff to do at this campground. So I'm gonna give you the cons though too, because there are some cons. Okay, my biggest gripe with this campground, and the reason it wasn't bait switch for my title for this YouTube channel, or for this YouTube video, but it's because it's a huge sore spot for me. This camp spot that I'm in on the bluff, all of them, no hookups, no services at all, 70 bucks a night. I mean, that's crazy, stupid, expensive for no hookups. Now, is it worth it? I think so, every now and then. I mean, you get this amazing view. So you're paying for the view and the location. Would I ever spend $70 a night for absolutely no hookups? No, never. I would just find a place to boondock and camp for free because it's the same. But you know what? So that's a huge gripe. Southern California they raised their prices just not too long ago. And if you're on the non-bluff side, it's still 50 bucks a night for no services. So that is crazy high, and that's my biggest gripe with this campground. I mean, if you're here for 10 nights and you're on the bluff side, you're paying over $700 to camp. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's a huge gripe of mine and a sore spot. The other negative to this campground is super hard to get into. So you have to plan or be flexible or book last minute, or book well in advance because you will have a hard time getting a spot. Another con to this is I have been here on weekends and a holiday, and it can be very, very crowded and tend to be noisy. And when you're here in the summer and it's a weekend or it's a holiday, you got kids everywhere, the road is narrow, it just can be really crowded. And you know, kind of along with that is there's not a lot of privacy between most of the sites, so you're kind of exposed to your neighbor, so you hope you have neighbors that aren't blaring their music or kids screaming or something like that. I'm here midweek. It has been amazing. My neighbors are quiet and they're actually parked in a way that I don't even see them, so my experience this time has been really positive, despite the cons of this campground or the negatives of this campground. Is it the worst campground ever? No, it's not. Was it the worst when I came here a long time ago and had a bad experience? Yes, and I swore I would never come back. But you got to give this place a try. Give it a shot and see what you think. And if you stay here, let me know in the comments what you think. Am I correct? Am I, you know, way out of line with some of my thoughts on this place? Or what was your experience here? I'd like to know, and if you would share your experience, we can all learn and gather some more information from it. So, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you being here. The best thing you could do for me now is hit the subscribe button. It's totally free, doesn't cost you a thing, and it will alert you if you hit the notification icon of when I drop my next video having to do with RV life and travel. So if you would do that, I would appreciate it. Helps my channel grow. And if you would like this video and share it, then YouTube will promote it and get it out there and help others to see it so that they can get into this campground and hopefully have this most amazing experience that I've just had. Anyway, take care. Until I see you in the next video, travel safe.